Hello friend, it's Tonton. In today's video I want to make a guide about how not to lose prep phase. There are many things to say and I will focus on one specific area, so it's not gonna be a broad guide where I cover every single little pieces of things you can do. We're gonna talk actually about how do you make farms that make points for SVS and with the purpose to make points for SVS. As you might have seen in yesterday's videos, farms are less and less needed to rush to Furnace 30 to train troops to have resources. They can still be helpful. So many people drop farms after a while. And the first SVS, they might not seem that competitive or that, how would you say, that balanced. But the way we, where we are after 2 years, SVS preps are pretty much competitive, particularly after state merger, which is around Gen 7. Right, so what happened during state merger is like they are removing all the dead states. There are no dead states anymore. There might be some now after already 2 or 3 transfers after merger, so some states are start to be empty, right? But after the merger, they really removed all the dead states. They might have merged 3 together, so maybe there is a few states that are very low in activity and stuff. But overall, what we found is like the prep phase are a lot more competitive after the merger. And we lost the last 2 prep phase. And if you are kind of following the channel for a while, you know that we never lost prep phase since I joined the state back in January. So we always had either very easy prep phase or we actually had, tough prep phase, but we won. And, when you lose prep phase, there are a lot of things to blame. You can blame people that did not save. You can blame people that, decided to hold item for the next one and did not mean to save. You can blame people that, whatever. That's okay. That, you need to look at it as well and to look at, can you talk to people that are spending outside of SVS prep phase to understand what are they chasing. Many rewards are bad outside of prep phase. So, what do people want? It's as well understandable that, ranking 50 or top 100 in prep phase every SVS is kind of boring after a while for a low spender free to play because you don't get that many rewards. So it's totally okay to understand. The consequences of losing prep phase can be big because your castle is being attacked by the other states. In that case, we had a very nice battle, but you see they were quite stronger than us, so we managed, and we had people that were not present as well, so we managed to secure 1 hour and a half out of 3 hours, which of course is not enough by far. And the last 2 prep phase we won. Of course, like I said, you can blame people that did not save and stuff, but and I cannot show you anymore because I did not particularly keep images of that, but it was clear that they had farms, accounts that they used to make a lot of points. And these accounts were easily the difference between us and them. So these accounts, we'll talk about them in how to turn your farm into SVS making point account. And actually right now we have people in 948 that are starting these accounts again, making new farms, making new account that will be used to only make points for SVS. So let's jump on my farm. You see my farm is Fire Crystal 9. I did not until now made it SVS making points machine, but I can turn it into it and the way it works. So if you are on a state, that is Gen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you don't have a farm, making a new account will be first a lot faster. What you should do, you should join an alliance that is active. So, we lost a bunch of people due to transfers. We have a group of Turkish players that wanted to play with their friends. We could not accommodate their friends to come here, so they went with their friends basically, which is okay. Some of them are viewers, so there is no issue with that. But we have some space. So what we will do over the next months, we will actually welcome people that are doing that kind of project to start a new account and to turn it into point making city for SVS prep. So you should be in an active city to get the auto help. That will be really important. So you can get your first building, you can fly through your first 20 levels. That's gonna be very quick. If you have bigger upgrade, do them during like bear time and things like that. You can do a shit ton right here. Then you will want to do some bear as well. Even if you cannot join, you squeeze yourself if one of the bigger player rally as soon as you get some troops, so you can get some of these points going. You really want your personal best total damage, so you will get these chests for resources, which will really unlock you in terms of resources, right? You will get resources as well from simply doing bear We've done it yesterday. It's already far, but you know, you get some resources here as well. That's, you know, that's a lot. You won't get as much as me, but you might get half of that. Between that and your personal score, you basically don't have any resources issue. If you are a state that is Fire Crystal 5 already, you will have access to the experts. So for the experts, you will be able to get Agnes, and with Agnes, you will get the extra building time reduced, so that, you know, if you get it to 4, 6, 8 hours, you know, on a new account, that will really help you to speed up getting to Fire Crystals Furnace 30, sorry. And we will see about why it's important to be Furnace 30 and plus to make points. But that will really help you to speed up. You will get as well pets. You know, pets are gonna be helpful as well, because you will get, you know, at least this one for the construction speed, right? That will be really important, but you will get pets nearly right away when you have a new city. You will get the island as well. So especially, you know, on these old states that are Fire Crystal 5 and plus, between the pets, between the island, between the Dawn Academy, you will, you know, and joining a good alliance, if there is some spots, like if you have 3, 4, 5, 6 spots, get some of these players that are making SVS points, cities, basically, to your alliance, to fill them and to help them progress. So when you understand that, and maybe just talk about the points, right, for a second, before I go about how to do the account itself. We estimated where we are right now, so it's Fire Crystal 10. If you collect your stamina twice a day, so that's really important because you will make points with stamina. And then you do some of the, you do your intel or not. It's possible to do intel mission as well. You will slowly increase stamina, but that will be kind of, you will have one decision to make, right? Is to either you play it more and you do intel mission and you gather every day and stuff like that, or you do as little as possible, which will be mostly doing some intel mission and doing collecting stamina. Because and with that you should be able to make 10-15 million per SVS. You will collect, you know, put it in a farm alliance that you can get some speed ups for, maybe for fortresses or whatever is going on, you know, for daily polars and stuff like that. So you get a tiny bit more. Don't leave it in an empty alliance. Keep it, if possible, in the farm alliance of your own alliance or of your states, and, you know, merge. Like, it would actually be smarter to have only maybe 1 or 2 farm alliances on the state instead of 4 or 5, and have these very active, especially with 2 bear times, bear trap times nowadays. With 2 foundry times, you can quickly do that, but you don't have to play it a lot. You will have to develop it to Furnace 30. That could make, you know, every SVS you could make between 10-15 million points. A bit less if you are if you are Fire Crystal 1 to 3. If you are kind of the early days, if you are later Fire Crystal 10, you can go up to 20 million points per SVS you can save, just between, you know, the Fire Crystal, the stamina you save, and the training troops. So, and if you accumulate, you know, over SVS, and you only use it when it's needed, you will be able to make a lot of points. What happened in these 2 last SVS? The 2 SVS ago, someone accumulated a lot of stamina with these farms. So maybe for many months, if they did not have a hard, you know, did not have any hard prep phase. So they made a lot of points on day 2 for the beast, or day 3, I actually forgot. And then they made a tiny bit of point with Fire Crystal. They made a tiny bit of point with training and stuff like that. Last SVS, it was a bit different. They made a lot of points with Fire Crystal and training in the last few days. So we'll talk about exactly how to do all of that. But you could make, you know, these cities made up to 80 million points per cities, right? So a whale, like a big whale, made 200 million points, for example, for us. So that was one of our players. These 4 cities, with them, they made 3,020 million points, right? 20 million points. So that's crazy. That's 2 or 3 whales worth of points. And again, they were accumulating for many months because, you know, they have to wait for a real SVS. So you will collect and accumulate everything on this farm until you really need it for an SVS, and then you will push on the last few days only if you need it. So if it's totally lost and the opponent is far too strong, you do not push. And if, you know, if it's close enough, you push what you need. The way it works with these farms is very simple. You have mostly 2 options. You rush them to Furnace 30 and you stay Furnace 30, or you rush them to Furnace 30 and you progress them slowly toward Fire Crystal 5. And the way you will do it, so you will collect stamina, at least you collect stamina, and you know, if you want to do anything you like in the game, you know, do your intel, do some of the polar terrors and stuff. I would not suggest to do the polar terrors, I would more suggest to do the intel missions. So you get the fire crystal and you get the fire crystal shard and you get the speed ups and you get the shards actually for the hero and stuff. So it's like you use the bare minimum of stamina you need, so you will slowly accumulate stamina over time. So when SVS comes, maybe you have 5k, maybe you have 10k stamina, right? That is accumulated and that you can basically use on beast day. So you need to be able to play on beast day. If usually you're not able to spend that much stamina on beast day, then do your polar terrors. You know, you need to find a balance between what's doable for you, between playing it very little or playing it a lot. So you can connect, you can log on basically twice a day. You get the stamina, you get the intel missions, you train T9, T8 or T9, so you want to promote T8 or T9 as well, so you don't want to train T10, you will promote them during SVS, so you train T8 or T9. The good thing, you know, is that when you're a bit later in the game, like me, like creating T8 for me is like 12 hours at, you know, Fire Crystal 8, so that's very simple. I log twice a day, like I said, I collect stamina, I do everything, you know, 5-10 minutes, I log out, I log in again later, 5-10 minutes, I log out, and it's like low maintenance. When, you know, I start to accumulate fire crystal, I start to accumulate research, you know, speed ups and stuff, right? Everything. So the way you will do it is you're gonna burn everything you need. So hero shards, the only trick is with fire crystal and essence stones. If you can do bare, that's amazing. If you start an upgrade here, and you cancel it, you will get half of your fire crystal back. So what people do, that's why they stay fire crystal 30, furnace 30, and they upgrade fire crystal 1. You know, they do one of these and they cancel. They get half back. They get all the resources and they get half of the fire crystal back. And they upgrade again, cancel, upgrade again, cancel, upgrade again. So they burn through all their fire crystal. That's why I'm saying is just they are making points account. They are not to be developed, to be played in whatever situation. You don't really care about being them being efficient in foundry or whatever. They are accounts to make points. So you will do that with your fire crystal, and you will do the same with your essence stones. Essence stone is the same if you have a pieces of gear that is not red, but this one, for example, if I unequip the gloves, I go to my backpack, I found the gear. It's here, right? This one, I can click to reforge. I can reset the XP, but that does not give points. But if I reset the mastery reforge, I get 50% back. So let's say you have 300 essence stones. You will upgrade these 300. You will reset. You will have 150. You will reset. It's gonna cost you a bit of gems. You're gonna get 75. You're gonna upgrade. You're gonna reset. You're gonna get 37, etc. So the more you do it, the more stones you burn. So maybe it's better to just do it, you know, you use your 300, you reset, and you get 150. So the next time you get more essence stones, because the more you do it, the less you have. But the more points you make this SVS. So you need to balance that. Either you do it all the way and you burn all your essence stones, or you just do it one or twice so you have a bigger bunch of essence stone for the next SVS you start from. So you do it with both, basically, with fire crystal and essence stone. That's why you want to be furnace 30, so you go from furnace 30 to fire crystal 1, you cancel, or you go from, and that's where you have a refined fire crystal, so that's available at fire crystal 6. You know, these ones, these are giving a lot of points as well, right? So you can do the same with the shards, right? You can reset the shard, cancel, reset the shard, cancel, reset the shards, cancel. So that's gonna give you with it's gonna burn your steel as well, but that's gonna be okay. Yeah, I don't want to start one now, it's not giving point, but you can do that with the research as well. You can do that with the building, and you can do it on a camp, you can do it on whatever you want. You know, if you don't have enough crystals to do a furnace upgrade, but you can do a camp, then you start a camp, you cancel a camp, you start a camp, you cancel a camp, and you cannot do the camp, you do that on the infirmary. So to burn really every fire crystal you get ever. And some people push so these account to furnace crystal 5, so you can start upgrading fire crystal 6 and to burn some of these refined fire crystal that gives a lot. So you can do it with fire crystal shard, refined fire crystal, and essence stone. Plus the rest is very much as usual. You know, it's using your hero shard, it's using your speed ups, your research speedups, it's using your training speedups, it's using your construction speedups. If you have enough, you might even use, if you really need to, you might start the upgrades, use most of the speedup there except 1 minute, cancel, so it's not completing. Just be careful if you do that, because if you ask for help, if someone presses help, your building will improve and you won't be able to cancel, right? But maybe you remove 1 hour or whatever. But you start, you use some speedups. It works for research as well. You cancel, you start, use some speedup, you cancel. So you double down, right, with the speedups and with the fire crystal shards, with the refined fire crystal. So that's really how these people are turning, and some people have, if you have 1 or 2 accounts yourself, if you have 10 people with an extra account, 20 people with an extra account, 100 people with an extra account, you cannot imagine how big of a difference that is. If you win, to win your prep phase, that's really big. You will probably never get 100. You might find some people that will want to make 2, 3, 4. It happens. We used to have a spender that used to have, I think, 8 or 11 farms. That was totally insane. All handled by hands. Nothing shady, nothing weird. Like, I'm not promoting any scripts or anything. I'm not talking about that at all. It's like all handmade. With love, with care, properly done. No risk for your state, no risk for your account. If you are using any kind of programs and stuff to help with that, if you get caught or reported, these will be banned, and you will get the points that you make for SVS Prep will be removed. Every SVS, we have a message from the dev telling us that everything that are automated for points will remove the points, and the account will get banned. And that's what happens if you get reported. So you want to do that cleanly, you want to do that properly, just do it by hands, but that's what you should focus on. And in terms of developing your city is very, very simple, right? You need to do a bit of research, but you don't need to stress too much, but you will want to get, the typical growth and economy stuff, to be able to do to rush to Furnace 30 and to help yourself if you push toward Fire Crystal 5 a bit more. That's okay. A bit of economy as well for resources gathering, but you don't need that much. You will be able to gather as well, of course, on these accounts. So if you want to do that research to max the gathering speed, that will help on day 2 for the resource gathering. You can do a bit of battle in terms of deployment capacity, just in case you do bear and events like that, so you can do a bit more points. But I wouldn't stress too much. These should be very high maintenance accounts, especially if you have more than one. If you have one farm that you play a bit more actively, like mine, you do bear trap, you do foundry sometime and stuff, then you might not make it like a making points machine for SVS Prep. You can still have fun with your farm. That's okay. Sometimes to play free to play. For me, it's really nice actually to have a free-to-play account, so I can actually stay connected to what is free-to-play in the game, because I've been spending a bit more in the game, so I'm very clear on what is, the struggle and the challenges of free-to-play. That's very important to me. But if you don't care about having a farm at that stage, you just put it in an alliance that's decently active, a farm, or even one of your smaller alliances. You do at least your stamina. If you can, you do your intel missions, because you will get a lot of fire crystal and that will give you more points than stamina. Or if you cannot be logged for hours, to rally polar terrors on the day of polar terrors as well. That could be an alternative to do stamina. And then you will do your fire crystal shards and stuff like that. So the bare minimum, the optimized way will be to do bare intel missions for me and getting your stamina. Everything else you don't really care. Arena, low rewards. All of the other events, very low rewards. I would not stress too much about doing, any kind of officer projects and stuff like that. You can skip all of these. You don't have to stress too much. If you need the gem, maybe to spin the wheel, but then it starts to be a lot more time consuming. But the gems are later. Initially, they are the last rewards you get. But later they are kind of the third reward, so they are quite easier to do. It's half less point to get the charm. So that. So that's something you could double deep on as well, is spinning the wheel. But that starts to be like a real secondary third account, and that's a lot more time than just doing quickly intel. You send all your marches out, you wait for them to come back, you send them gathering, you collect your stamina, you train your T8, T9 troops. You do your bear if you can from time to time, and that's really it. And on bear you don't have to stress it too much. You do 1 or 2 wave of rallies maybe, just to get points, just to get some of the essence stone. You will get some from here. as well from your friend Cyril as well, which will really help you at the free-to-play. So that will be really good. And if you do that again, and you could go further and again play the account fully and stuff, but then it's like a second job. So I'm not want to. You do you, if that's what you want, that's okay to do. But just wanted to put that, because we find ourselves in a situation where, if you look at one of our farm alliance, which is right here, you know, we don't have that many people with a farm that is really active, you know. We have 4 here, we have 5 here, maybe 6, 7, 8-ish. But many people are 29. I'm sure if I logged in, like most of these are not played at all anymore. You see, I mean, you can see with having auto-hunt active right now, because not auto-hunt, but auto-join for rally, so that's a few players. So it's very, very little. So that could really help us if we had, you know, double, triple the amounts in terms of contribution, and particularly if people are using their farms to make points for SVS prep. So that's a very important. If you're a SVS competitive state, at some point it will come down to part of that, unless you have massive states and massive spender states, you know, and then you can win with money. But you know, even that state that was quite stronger than us, with a lot more spender than us, overall they had farm that made 80 million per farm, and they had 4 of them of these farms. So that was, you know, that was 5% of the total of points they made, more or less. That were these 4 farms. So that's insane when you think about it. And to make 80 million points, they have been accumulating for 3-4 months at least, maybe 5-6. So you don't need them often, but when you need them, they are there, and you can make a rotation basically. So that's it for today. That's the guide. I'm curious to know what you think, and if you think that's helpful. You know, on an SVS focus stage, every edge you can get is important. Let me know if I forget anything as well. And you know, share your best tips in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing, consider joining the Discord as well. Plenty of good information there. Cheers, bye bye.